Perry, North Carolina consists of a small church, boat ramp, and a Dollar General. At one time it had a cable ferry, which sounds romantic, but it was just a raft big enough for a couple of vehicles. Now a concrete bridge crosses the river. All the snags are kept clear on the North Carolina side. At the South Carolina state line is a log jam that the tops can be seen only a few times a year. Lake Waccamaw is at the head of the river, eventually emptying into the ocean in Georgetown, South Carolina, becoming the Little PD. There has never been a push to make South Carolina clean this snag jam, as the Waccamaw River has backed up to become an 8-mile-long lake, wide as a river. Several families have floating houses in the flooded coves for hunting and camping. Never saw anyone living there full time. Deer, black bear, raccoon, squirrel, rabbits, and hog, which has no season. Shoot them when you see them, and wild hog meat is the best tasting pork there is. Fishing is fantastic with brine, crappie, bass, catfish. Easy enough to park next to a white sand bank to catch a pound and a half of catfish. The biggest one caught here was 110 pounds, and I'm sure it was delicious. Some of my wealthier relatives at the family Christmas party last year were talking about putting a shanty on the river. And that man just won Comment of the Year. Comment of the Year. At this point, we've hit 7 million views between the different social media networks I'm on, and I gotta tell you, I get to read a lot of comments. If you've noticed one difference about me and a lot of channels is that I read all the comments. I acknowledge that you made a comment by usually responding to 95% of the comments. So I love interacting with this group of people who are following along with me. It's probably been 2 or 3 months since I've even had a comment that was held for review. There was a while when I would get rude comments here and there, but now no one's even making rude comments. Everyone seems to be polite and nice, and I get people like Sammy here who tell me really cool stories. I get people who are just putting their houseboat in. I get people who are thinking about doing the houseboat thing. I get people who are thinking about doing the sailboat thing. It's really amazing when you're talking to that many people and so many people are seeing things that you're putting out. All the different variations of the responses that you get is pretty cool. It's really cool. I thought you guys would like Sammy's comment. So now, there may be a lot of rules on the water, but the number one rule is when you see someone in trouble, you help. It is coming. Look that's more movement than I got at all.
Do I need to give it slack or no?
No. I'd stay back. That rope might be the one that breaks by you.
I don't think so. Yeah,
if you need someone to help crank, let me know, bud.
It's coming. If we get it up here parallel with the bank, then we can pump that water out of it. Might take a while.
It's a lot of water. Yeah. You're not supposed. That's not how you're supposed to fish. We really only got like 2 more inches till we have to. Here, it's coming up right now. Try to put the trim back down.
It's pulling against that chain.
Okay, it won't go. You only need 1 more inch of height before we can pump that thing out. I mean, just 2 more inches. Look at, see that corner is the only part underwater right there. Like all tasks that we undertake, the small guy goes in the small places and the big guy goes in the big places. And basically what this needs is me to go sit on that other side of that boat. That's what's about to happen. Maybe do 1 or 2 more cranks, see what happens.
No liquor coming.
Take a 5-gallon bucket will get it emptied. That's crazy.
Yeah, let's get some to try to run. Because it's coming out anyway.
Still, that corner's below.
I know, but you get so much weight out of it, it ought to pick up.
Yeah.
Try to, can you lift that part of the boat a little bit right there? Like shift it?
Well, you have my permission.
I mean, if this thing don't float now, it probably won't float, right?
There's still a lot of water in this back end.
We all took turns dumping water and cranking on the land stern. Before you know it, this thing is floating. I'm gonna holler out if that engine just fires right over. You think it will be? I mean, it was completely underwater the whole time. Yeah, she just picked up. I'm moving her around with my leg. She's floating.
Oh. Hang on, Nate. Hang on, y'all.
Tommy and Gary, right? Okay. And they call Gary Newt. The great outdoors. If she is sitting, you definitely got water in here. The boat's sitting weird, but it's floating. It's back floating again. All right.
You let it down, let's sit there for a minute, Tommy. We looked at a lot better than did when I got here.
I got a,
Yeah. It's not on the bottom. He's like, well, it's not sunk. Let's go.
okay, here goes nothing. Well, hand me my jacket. My keys are in my jacket. It hit. It's want to.
Oh, hell no. There you go, Mercury.
So damn bad it wasn't pumping water a few minutes ago.
Yeah. Look, he steers that with his feet. There's no steering wheel on that boat. That's how you get something back up and running. Stay, River. Well, that's a good end to a story right there. Let's go home. Just look at that. This is the time of year right now where it's abnormally low, where you can go through and see exactly where the channel is. You could tell that's not the way to go here at all, right? That's land that comes all the way across there, and then look, so the land goes all the way across here, and then while it gets shallow, look at all the tree stumps along where the land is just underwater right there, right? But then look where I'm going in is over here. You see my inlet. Now I'm not saying that in a day or two my inlet won't be completely land and no water, but this is definitely the way to get in here. Even if you come in here year round, I think you guys get my point. When the water is really low like this is when you learn a lot about the waterway, like that stump right there. Right? You wouldn't know that's there unless you hit it, or unless you're here on a time frame when it drops like this. February and January, you come through here and you'll know more about the bottom of this river than any other time out of the year. And most people, their boat's in the garage at that point. They don't ever come out here. So you can learn a lot about the water staying out here. Like living on the river year round, you learn a lot about this water. She's got some evening energy. She just came running out of the boat full speed. I had a cat that used to bring fuzzy balls back and play catch, like fetch, but she doesn't. She's gonna run into the boat. A lot of people worry that that's her thing. Like, she knows where the boat is, and if anything goes wrong, she goes full speed for it. So I'm never worried. Like, if River growls or barks, she's on the boat. If I yell, she goes to the boat. She's better at going to the boat than the dog is. Now, she will try to walk off and go into the woods and stuff, but as soon as I start yelling, clapping, starting motors, or making any noise, right into the boat. Look at these two. She likes him about as much as she hates him. But he would, if something went after her, he would kill it so fast. Cattle dogs are kind of crazy. They're it's like they grabbed a big dog and stuck it into a small dog. I wonder where she's going. Quick, what are you doing? So I've noticed there's some deer prints coming over here, and they bed down where this tree fell at night. There's a bunch of soft grass in there, and they kind of push it around. You can see their beds right there and back there. There's deer all throughout these islands. A lot of them don't even have to walk right now when the water's low like this. Or don't even have to swim. They can just walk from island to island. Hey, little girl. Alright, Mondays are my days to run errands and such. And typically I move the boat on Mondays, every other Monday. Because there's no one on the river on Monday. So it's my quiet time. I'm going to move the boat from right there to right here to get more sun. This is a rocky, solid ground beach. It's going to keep a little bit more sand and mud out of the boat, which I like. And then there's a big run back and forth here. It's not as cool as being able to walk around your own island because this island is so big that we won't ever walk around it. Yeah, but we'll have morning sun and we'll have afternoon shade, which is pretty much what we're looking for right now. Let's go do that. And then I'm gonna run to the pet store and get the dog food and cat food, and then I'm gonna run to the people store and get the martin food. We're gonna try to get this boat off this beach. Now, we aren't moving. So what you do is you basically walk the boat back and forth, and you make a little bit of a gap for each pontoon, a little bit more of a gap so there's less friction on the pontoon. And there we go. We just got loose. And then remember, you don't want to floor it in reverse. You'll hit a stump. It would not be good. Walking the boat back and forth is pretty much how you get it off of the boat, off of the ground when you're beached really bad. Especially with a tri-haul, because the middle buoy stays where it is, and the other two kind of vice themselves off. So, all right, so we moved over across the way, and they are already out exploring. Cricket found a nice patch of green grass to just chew on. She loves that stuff. All right. And I'm already not wearing rubber boots. I got my Crocs on because the beach is not mud and sand. It's rock. So I've kind of come accustomed to you know, based on whether, if the weather's wet out, if it's going to get wet and cold every single morning, I don't want to be on a muddy beach, right? But if it's 80 degrees and sunny right in the morning, you're going to be on a sandy beach and it's going to be nice and beautiful sand. So, and that's our island that we just came from. We didn't move far. But we have more depth under us now. And the mud that's underneath us, basically it's rocky till about 3 feet from shore, and then it becomes almost muck, where if you step off with your boot, you would go a foot deep. That's the kind of thing where your boat won't get stuck. You can almost drive through that stuff. It's pretty much water. So I feel a lot more comfortable about being here. We're going to get hit with wind from the south broadside. I don't like that idea, but I think I'll probably... It's going to be warm wind. I mean, everything coming from the south right now is 10 degrees warmer than it is here. Probably run a rope off of the back corner of the boat over to a tree here to hold us so we don't kick into shore. But I'll do that when I get something in the weather telling me that the wind will increase. Right now, we don't got much. What are you doing? Typically that's her. She comes out and explores for an hour or two and then goes and lays on the bed. And then wants to come back out around evening, around 4 o'clock. And then she really wishes she could spend the night outside on the islands. I don't let her even think about stuff like that, but... Even him going in right now, he's standing on rocks, so he's not going to come out and be muddy. It's in there where it starts to be mucky. And I like that right now. You can tell where I pulled the anchor, the beach over there. Right now, because it's been underwater for 6 months, is mucky. And as the sun hits it over the next 2 weeks, it will become solid and sand again. But right now, it's muck. And this little window of time is not where you should stay there, you know. However, when I came there, it was solid sand. And the last week has been great. It dropped with so much water dropped. I think this is a really good thing for people to know too. So when you come into a shallow water area, everyone always talks about sandbars and that you got to go wide and observe the sandbar. But not that many people actually show you where they're created or how they're created. The current is coming from there and it is coming down. So this sandbar on this island is going to push away from us. Did you see that? So it's 100 feet from here, 300 feet from there. Same sandbar. But the water pushes it around the island. Now, when the water cuts through there, it's going to drag the tip off of this island, which means there's 2 sandbars and a U in the middle. That's the tip of that island being worn away by that current. Okay? So when you come into these, if you just come straight in, you're going to go over all 3 of the sandbars. So basically you want to go up to the current and then follow the water current in along. And that's where you'll get the best depth for your motor, right? Yeah, I think that's the best. I think visually I'm describing it with the camera better than I'm actually verbally describing it, but it is what it is. It's very rare that the sandbar does what most people think, which is just go from this island straight to this island. Whenever there's current involved, that doesn't happen. There's typically a point that's wearing away on the down current island, and then there's an edge that's rubbing off in one direction. Yeah, that's probably enough said about that. bunch of my videos were made staying on this island, and currently it is no longer an island. It's a palisade because the water has gone down so low that the beach has stretched over to the other island, and now you could tell where the lowest point to get through would be is right there, the narrow part. But what's really cool about that is once that beach dries out in the sun, that is the premium sandy beach around here. It is the best sand. There's grass going into the forest right there. Once that dries out into the sun and that's a nice sandy beach, parking behind it, looking out the river, taking the wind from the river but not taking in the waves is going to be a really cool spot. So hopefully you know what, this whole top part of the beach looks like it's dry already. I might stay here next week. Look at that. I mean, imagine playing fetch with river in that big open sandy beach right there. And then none of the waves from any of the big boats coming through here or the barges would ever get to you because it's land now. Interesting. You notice how I'm coming in here with the current, avoiding that horseshoe. Alright, so I just whipped around that island. You know, this is morning sun and afternoon shade too, which is kind of what you need right now, this time of year. And look, this is what that beach looks like from behind. Oh, this might really be a very viable spot for me for a little bit. And this is one of those things where I get to watch the river traffic. It doesn't affect me, the waves don't affect me, but I can sit here and watch every boat go down to the Gulf on their way down for their endless summers, like this guy right here flying through. This is very, very interesting. I'm gonna give it a few days to let the beach dry a little more. Oh, I hate when he jumps off early like that and kicks me out. Look at it, it's like 5 feet deep right here, right by the shore. Look at how steep that is. So I have my motor all the way down right now. Good approach. River knows exactly where he's at. Okay. Yeah, my motor's not even touching. But it's yeah, we need this to dry off a little, but man. And then the arrowheads that will be out here, not that I look for arrowheads, but right now is the time to find them.
Go, River.
Alright, I'm gonna
Come
go
on.
to the store. Let's go! Boat ride. Oh, that was a good jump, buddy. That was a good jump. I came over by the marina because I've never seen this where this is a beach right here. I've always seen it where it's an island. This is now not an island anymore. Well, my fault. It's part of a bigger island, but it's not its own little island anymore. So this is the first time I've had that happen. And I wanted to come over here because that means we can park right here and look at all the big boats going through, going south, but none of the waves will make it to us. And this is a beautiful sandy beach. As it dries off, it's going to become perfect breakable sand. And there's some shells, but I'm walking barefoot on it. Who gets to do that, right? Yeah. So there's going to be raccoons and deers and foxes and coyotes that come out here. And we'll be able to see the prints in the mornings. Look at this huge beach, man. Look at him. He's happy. Are you a happy dog? Yeah. Look at this beach. Oh, there's already deer prints through here. So the deer love the grass that start. There will be grass that starts to grow on this, like right there. See, and the deer love it. All afternoon. Make videos. It's not a horrible life at all. It's working for me. And today was a bad day, and I'm still having a good day. It's kind of cool. You see how there's nails on that track? That's what a dog track looks like. That's what a bobcat track looks like. There's no nails on it. You see the comparison? He just walked right by one. That's his paw print. That's the cat's paw print. No nails. See that? And then the bobcat just goes right through there. Big cat. Yeah. The water's down a lot, and we have spent the last 2 hours just walking the beaches. It's very nice. To the houseboat, which is way down there. Yeah. Alright, I got the motor running because we're going to move. Big storm coming today. Like most of today and this evening is going to be a big 20 mile an hour, 30 mile an hour storm. Coming from that direction. And I don't want to sit here and blow in the wind all day. So we're going to go hide like we always do. A lot of people ask me how I deal with storms. I hide from them. I have lots of little spots that I can go where the storms don't get into. Right, little buddy? But we're going to come back here tomorrow. I mean, this is a beautiful spot. There's just, you don't find sandy beaches that big and beautiful right now. This time of year, it's just everywhere. So let's go over there and we'll make some coffee when we get there. And then I gotta go pick up some drinking water from the marina. Go get 5 or 10 gallons of drinking water. Yeah. From the marina and take my garbage there. Get that done before the storm starts. Alright, we're back in our little cove. So there is 4 places that I know of within 20 miles of here to hide out a storm, and this is one of them. It is my preferred place because it's near the marina, but it's not the best place. This is, if the wind gets up to 30 miles an hour, you're gonna feel it in here. There are trees that could fall on me. I don't like that. Best place is an island where there's no trees that could fall on you, but this one's close and it's only gonna be 1 day of storms. It's not gonna be that bad. So we're gonna stay here in my little cove. All the water is so far down that a lot of the places that I would go to, you can't even get into anymore. You could barely even get into a lot of places now. I'll show you over here. In fact, let's walk over here and I'll show you. All right, so this all was water during the summer at high pooling. In fact, it was water right up to where, over the grass. It was water right up to the forest right here. So that's the plane of water. We're talking between high pooling and now, literally more than 6 feet of water is gone. And we haven't had rain, but they're still making power, so that's what it is. I mean, yeah. So this used to be all water. I could drive my boat in here. In winter, it's never water. It's a field that we play in. Oh, look, there's a deer. Don't let River see that. He's gonna see it. He's gonna go after it. But this is an island, so it really doesn't matter. He can't go anywhere. Yeah, so look at that. He doesn't see it. He's just walking around. The deer's doing the right thing and just staying still. Although it has so much of a head start, River couldn't catch it. There he goes. There he goes. He's gone. River didn't even see him. Alright, so look at this. Now, what's interesting about this kind of thing is that I now know where the low spots are. You could see the entrance to this has created a bank all the way right out there. And if you wanted to come in here, you should really go 40 feet past the entrance and then make your cut. Yeah. So I'm gonna send this to a couple of people who fish back here just so they can get it, because they're not out here in winter. Yeah, so the creek in here is about 20 feet narrower and down. I mean, the creek used to be like right here for normal summer pooling, and then it would flood high waters right up here where this bank is. So look at that difference. And this is like a really steep bank. And I'm standing and I'm almost at the height, my feet are at the height of the windows on the boat. Yeah, which just shows us how tucked in we are here. You know, we're in a very safe, secluded spot. And then look at the beaver den is completely out of the water right now. A fox could just walk right into it. Yeah, although a fox would get his butt kicked by a beaver, but beavers are pretty badass. Yeah, we're getting almost to the temperature where in the mornings when it's freezing, like if it's 40 degrees out, you can go traipsing through the woods with the dog, and even if you see a snake, it wouldn't be able to move. It's so cold they don't move, or they're not even out. They're actually underneath things. So pretty soon we'll start adventuring onto the islands and start looking at all the forests and stuff. Be pretty cool. Storm is coming. Oh, it's raining over there. I can already see the rain coming down. Okay, we're gonna cut this. We're gonna cut this boat ride short. I've learned this lesson a couple of times. Don't need to learn it again today. Yeah, look at that. That's awesome. Really cool. We are back on the boat just in time for the rain. It started raining as I got out of this dinghy. Yeah. It's gonna be a storm. Watching a Western, living out in the wilderness, watching the rain come and go. We need the rain. Look at this line. It comes from the water and goes all the way out through this field. Now, I'll tell you, if I hadn't made a line like this before myself, I would be very confused. Like, did someone just drag a stick in the ground kind of thing? But because it's only one single line, you could tell exactly what it is. That is someone using a weighted down kayak to carry some kind of hunted animal or carry something in and out of the woods. That's a kayak line right there. They had a rope on it and they just dragged it. Yeah, and basically it's the back part of the kayak just dragging in the mud. Yeah, so a person was probably out here either setting up a deer blind or actually got a deer and dragged it back and used their kayak to do so. That's pretty cool, I gotta tell you. I like it. It's like portaging, or, but not like just dragging it. It is what it is.
You got your ball, you got your chain, tied to me tight, tie me up again. Who's got their claws, and you my friend. Into your heart I'll beat again. Sweet like candy to my soul, sweet you rock and sweet you roll. Lost for you, I'm so lost for you. You come crash into me, and I come into you, and I come into you in a boy's dream, in a boy's dream. Touch your lips, just so I know. In your eyes, love, it glows so. I'm bare bone and crazy for you. When you come crash into me, baby, and I come into you in a boy's dream, in a boy's dream. If I've gone overboard, then I'm begging you to forgive me in my haste. When I'm holding you so, girl, close to me. Oh, when you come crash into me, baby, and I come into you. Hike up your skirt a little more and show the world to me. Hike up your skirt a little more and show your world to me. In a boy's dream, in a boy's dream. Oh, I watch you there through the window, and I stare at you. You wear nothing but you. Wear it so well, tied up and twisted, the way I'd like to be for you, for me. Come crash into me.